Holy shit, it's Spider-Man. He's back. Oh my god. You know it's the ultimate Spider-Man show. You know this is the call, man. This episode's amazing, man. It has Dr. Doom in it, Balancimo, and then it has Spider-Man. Of course, you know Spider-Man TAS. The GOAT Spider-Man. It's going to be the best Spider-Man. And it ended, right? It ended on this cliffhanger of Spider-Man saving the world, right? And this whole Spider-Verse thing in that back in the days. It's gonna go and save Mary Jane, and him and Madam Web is walking into this teleport kind of dimension thing. Can we finally have some kind of Spider-Man sequel, right? Like Spider-Man 6 of it. We need that, right? It's Christ, man. We gotta rewatch it again. Look at this. Spider-Man's finally back. And the Spider-Man appears, and Silver Surfer, and Dr. Doom, whatever. And I have to get my Spider-Gnome, guys. Let's rewatch the scene. Freaking Spider-Man, man. Avoiding it, you know, Spider-Sense, whatever. Tingling, and of course it's classic Spider-Man and Silver Samurai appears. It's big. You know this is my childhood, right? It's Spider-Gnome. I mean, it's amazing. So of course I always have this painting behind me, right? With great power come great possibility. It's a great line of all time in comic books. And of course I grew up as a massive fan of Spider-Man. Jesus Christ. I mean, I like the X-Men too. When I reviewed the episode, X-Men been really great, but the X-Men, the season is really fantastic. It's well done. Well animated, good voice acting, but of course for me, right, what I would love to see is a Spider-Man return. Let's be honest, what I would love to see is a goddamn Spider-Man. It's a GOAT, right? And of course I've liked some of the Spider-Man movies, and Spider-Man games are good or whatever, right? But this is also, for me, this is the best, like Spider-Man TAS, right? This is the best the Spider-Man was asked perfect. It had a bunch of different Spider storylines. It had a bunch of different Spider-Man villains, right? The Rogue Gallery that has been expanded in this whole show, similar to the Batman, right? Was also, okay, get me wrong. Of course, it's Spider-Man TAS, and then on his Batman TAS. Right? You know, Batman, and we have on the show, right? And then X-Men. I mean, I love the X-Men show too, but no, it's like Batman, Spider, yeah, those two. Oh my god, yeah. But for me, it's always like between Spider-Man and Batman, man. But anyway, they both have similar things because both of them established characters. They were so well written that they later became, you know, kind of staple in the comic books. Of course, in Batman, obviously Harley Quinn then is by far the opposite of these things. But Spider-Man as well, right? It's got a lot of characters. As a Smite, I would say it's a character that has a lot more of a breakout role in the Spider-Man TAS than he has in the comic book, right? And so on. And you know, I can keep going for hours, but yeah, Spider-Man was the best show. I always felt it was the best show, Spider-Man TAS, and I would die happy if I could get a Spider-Man sequel, especially as I mentioned how it ended, and it ended kind of open, right? He's gonna go and search for Mary Jane because you know, he had this clone Mary Jane and so on. He's finally gonna find the real Mary Jane. She was still lost in space, basically, right, in some other dimension. And then it just ended. We never even get to see them like reunite. So a little bit of like a open-ended, not actually perfect ending there in the original. Great, because they have ignored, you know, pretending like this show hadn't had a 20-year break. They just go for it, you know, the storylines there and so on. And I like it a lot. You know, honestly, I feel so much more movies. It's probably be like the X-Men show where you're like, no, everyone already knows. You know, I think the Spider-Man did it, yeah. Like, everyone already knows origin story. I think if anything, people are tired of seeing the origin story. I don't want to have a new Batman movie. It's like, here's how he turned into Batman. Okay, no, it's enough for that, okay? It's really boring. Oh, I bought a CM in it, the episode of everything, man. I had to rewatch it. Yeah, the episode of everything. First it's Dr. Doom, of course. It looks normally, right? I mean, I was saying, guys, I hate how Balancimo looks in the movies, right? You know, I hate it, right? I'm that kind of, you know, I want it to look like this with the mask and everything. The actor plays it pretty well, but this is the Balancimo to me, you know. And he actually kind of lacks his personality. His whole like, oh, Captain America. He lacks the whole thing that he has in the classic comic. I mean, in the Mark the Earth Avengers, that TV series, that was a really good Balancimo adaptation, okay? I love it. Balancimo is it. So of course, I've been watching every episode on a weekly basis. I don't have to binge or whatever. And it's been amazing. It's like the go-to show that I really, really enjoy every week. I only did review the first episode, whatever, but it's like I don't have too much time, I suppose. But it is an amazing show, and I have to make it now. When I saw Spider-Man, I was like, oh, I need to make a video because Spider-Man is so excited, right? But it is a really, really great show, generally speaking. I think my favorite scene so far is last week, though, when Rogue, of course, went all like, you killed my Gambit, my Remy! Which, of course, I love Gambit. Freaking best character, killed off my freaking best character. Honestly, I said it in my first video, right? I was like, I'm so happy that they finally had the show back because also Gambit has like no screen time in the movies or whatever, right? And I was loved Gambit, so I was like, man, he needs some freaking, and then they killed him off. God damn it! But yeah, Rogue being angry was still the best scene, I would say, which was last episode. But anyway, I like it. the mixture of future and past and so on. It is a little bit of a grandfather paradox though, but of course the X-Men has a lot of that, so it's a little bit like, yeah, but how could he create and also be... So it's a little bit like he created himself in a way, even though obviously Nimrod did it and so on, but still, it's a little bit like, but didn't he also improve that later on? Whatever, I digress. His, I say it, operandum, his magnum operandum though is interesting. I like how he turned his whole village, his mom and so on, into these like cyborg humans. Yeah, speaking, I kind of like how Bastion does it, right? Where Bastion is like, well, humans have been, you know, we're like basically losing the evolution and so on. So I'm evolving humans into a new species. It's like cyborg human species, which is stronger than mutants. And then, of course, we can have a better society and so on, right? Yeah. It's an interesting take on it from a philosophical standpoint, right? Where the other Sentinels are more like, this is big robots fighting for humans, arguably. These guys are more like, well, what if I make humans, you know, become a next race, right? So in that way, Buzz is interesting of a bad guy because he doesn't actually really believe in just like, you know, hating all the mutants, right? He's not like Bolivar Trask and all the guys that kind of more like, I just want to kill all the mutants. He's more like, I want to make humans something else, right? Which of course comes from himself actually not being a human either. He's not born as a human. He's born basically as a kind of, again, cyborg-ish, human-ish mutant, right, himself. So he's rather like, I want to transform mankind something else, which makes him a lot stronger, right? And also, as a side note, I like the Bastion part in Hope, right? I'm spoiled here, of course. But in the classic Cable and Hope, or classic, I really like that. Cable and Hope. It's one of my favorite comic books, actually. Really like that if you read it. About Hope Summers and so on, and Bastion being a villain in one of those parts then. That's a really good part of him. But anyway, I digress. The episode also is really good to come into reference, right? And this is something that I wouldn't say as much anymore in the movies and whatnot, or in new TV shows, but this is something that course old, like both Spider-Man TAS and X-Men TAS and so on, Iron Man, etc. They were really great at, right? It's something I don't think they have captured this I say mixture, this shared universe since then, basically, because I mean I love this episode had a lot of great callbacks, yeah, like Silver Surfer later on, right, to Doom here, Baron Steve as mentioned earlier, and this is just the strength, I guess, of comic books, and also a little bit, of course, animation versus movies, right? Because we can just have any dude appearing as the Doom here. This is a draw into the Doom here, right? They don't have to pay $1 billion to have the actor like Julian McCowan come back as a Doom. They don't have to pay for that, you know. We can just have this guy watch the game, and that's kind of it. So that's a great strength of of the animated shows. And like I said, I think this is, I want to see more of this thing though. This season has lagged a little bit. It hasn't had any like, but that actually kind of brings me to the whole Spider-Man thing again, right? Because this, while a great season, this has lacked that, I say it, crossover episode, I guess, right? You know what I mean? Because that's the thing, right? Back in the old days, because they had these TV shows going at the same time, they were all Marvel shows, and you know, again, it's very cheap to just like draw in Spider-Man or Iron Man or whatever in the episodes. You have to pay $1 billion. They could have a lot of crossover episodes, right? Where, for example, then of course Wolverine and the Beast are mostly involved with the whole Landon storyline, right? In the original Spider-Man, and so on. But you can have the character, you know, coming in and out, right? You can have Iron Man helping Spider-Man with Venom and Carnage, and so forth, right? And of course you could have Fantastic Four and so on in the final episode, Spider-Man Fantasy. So you get my point. But you can do that, and you can also have crossover episodes. You can have Spider-Man with their shows and back and forth and so on. It's much easier, you know, back and forth. And this season here actually has lacked that. Yes, it has lacked that. Why aren't the X-Men appearing in Iron Man? Well, of course, because there's only one X-Men show going on, right? So while I like the show, that actually reminds me, this episode here, that this season, though, it does lack those like crossover, the multiverse thing, right? Yes, of course, it shows you a bunch of characters, but I mean, it's not like the X-Men are suddenly gonna appear in a Spider-Man episode, right? It's not like next episode of Spider-Man TAS, the X-Men will be there with Cable or whatever, and so I'll be like, oh, mom and dad, they're gonna keep that joke going on. No, so that's something that I hope then keep going with this thing, right? And generally speaking, I think people like this show a lot more than the movies, right? The movies are kind of like dead now. Yeah, overall a great episode, a lot of good action scenes, and seeing Bastion's full plans come to fruition. I love this scene too, where they're like, the Summers can do it! Yeah, it was cute. Family car race and so on. It was a very action-packed episode, certainly, and arguably the best episode so far of the season, especially from an action standpoint at least. But anyway, hope you liked the video. Please subscribe, like it, and have a great day.